Hey guys, welcome back to our next video. So yes, in recent news, Canada will be deporting tens of thousands of international students. Like right now, it is a big thing all over Canada, and many students that are facing deportation, they are complaining, they are protesting, they are taking it to the streets, etc., etc. And it's just a big drama all over Canada right now. But before we get into details, do go ahead to hit the like button. Remember to watch those ads and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Now, you guys already know that I'm also an international student, so you might wonder, oh, do I also face deportation? Well, the answer to that is not right now, right? So these students that are facing deportation, they have already been granted a postgraduate work permit, which they have used up, and it's coming to an expiration. So they have no other option to extend the permit, because you cannot extend a postgraduate work permit, and they haven't received an invitation to apply for permanent residency. So they're left with no option than to just go back home and figure out life from there. And it's very unfortunate for these students, but at the end of the day, if we are being fair throughout, us as international students, we receive a temporary visa, right? We are not a permanent resident, a citizen, anything. It's just to come here to study and go back home. That's basically the contract with Canada, right? Now, receiving a residency would be good, but it is not a must or like a legal right that you will be granted a residency. Yes, it is encouraged by the government that, oh, students come here, they can study, and they have pathway in which they could apply to become a resident. But again, it is not a must that you will become a permanent resident. So I don't think there should be any complaints if you have to go back home. And, to be fair, coming to Canada to study, yes, as I said, residency would be good, but you have to think out of the box. What if you don't get residency? Will your life be put on a big pause? Will life end right there? You have to think about the long-term future, and for me, as I said, I'll be graduating this December. I will be granted a postgrad work permit of either 2 to 3 years. I'm not sure as yet. And then as whenever that expires, right, if I get good work experience and I meet the requirements for the permanent residency, then yes, I would be able to apply for my residency. But what if not, right? What other plan will be there to ensure that, oh, this was not my only way out? You understand? What is my plan B? What is my plan C? Right? And for these students who are facing deportation, I believe they should have put these plans in place. As I said, plan B, plan C, to ensure that, oh, even if they don't get residency at the end of their postgraduate work permit, at least they have something else in mind to continue their journey, to continue their future, to continue, and not just have to put their entire life on pause to think about what they're gonna do next, right? So for these students, I think they should have put things in place. Just for example, right, let's say they did a 2 years program like myself, right? Let's say they go to school and they did an associate degree, right? While they're going to do their postgrad work permit, they should have been saving to say, okay, if my permanent residency don't come through, at least I can go back to school and finish a bachelor's degree for another 2 years. You understand? So that money that they would have been saving within that 2 years of doing their postgrad work permit, they could have took that money that they saved within that time, go back, get their bachelor's degree, get even more points to apply for their permanent residency, and see if things come through, right? Because the higher education level, the more points you get and the more competitive you are in the pool to get the residency. You understand? So that's a scenario where you could continue your journey, right? Now, even if that doesn't work out, let's say, okay, you go, you do your bachelor's degree, and you still don't get an invitation, right? From there, you can apply for an open work permit, right? If that doesn't work out, then the last case scenario that anyone would want is to go back home. But at the same time, remember, going back home, you're going back home as a different person. You understand? You're going back home with a bachelor's degree to your name in whichever field you study, right? So there will be jobs for you, even if it's not in your home country. I'm sure there will be jobs like remotely where you can, do something along the line to, make some money, build yourself, start a life, etc., etc. And if you wish, you can even further your studies even more, maybe to a PhD, whatever field you might be in, right? So for these students, where many of them, they never had like any plan B, C as it relates to, what will they do in the event that PR doesn't come through? You understand? I think they base their life around PR, to the point that if it doesn't come through, their life will be completely shut off. You understand? And I said, for me, just as the options that I just listed out, try to work in my postgrad work permit, make enough money, right? Still try to apply for my residency. If it doesn't come through by then, go on ahead, do my bachelor's degree, right? When I'm finishing my bachelor's degree, personally, I don't want to stop at just my bachelor's. I want to get my CPA license, do my bachelor's degree, save up enough money, try to send myself to CPA school. Once I get my designation in accounting, I can go anywhere with my CPA. Like, I can go back to home, right? I can go to the States, anywhere, right? And in my profession, you have this thing that we call the golden handshake, meaning that my CPA would be recognized among various first world countries where I can just go and start to work there as anytime I want. You understand? Like, as long as there's a job available. You get me? So it's like setting up my future without having to depend on a residency. And yes, residence is key, but at the same time, you don't want to rely on that only, because again, it is not a legal right for you to obtain residence here. The contract between you and Canada is that we are on a temporary permit to study and go back home. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, sort out myself in terms of my education, make myself an asset. And this is my motto. This is my motto of staying here in Canada. My motto of staying here in Canada is that, I should not make it be a case where, I want to be in Canada. It should be a case where Canada want me to be here at the end of my studies. Like that's the motto that I live by. Like, it should be a case where, based on my education, qualifications, work experience, Canada should want me to be here. I shouldn't want to be in Canada. You get what I'm trying to say, guys? Like I should make them want me, not me running down for them, to accept me. You understand? And if it's a case where, they think, they don't want me, then what's my purpose here? Like, if they think, my skill set, my profession, it's not needed, then what's my purpose here? You understand? Like, I could go somewhere else where I'm very much needed, you understand, and could contribute to that country in a way that, will help out that country, even if it means going back to Jamaica, right? As long as I'm able, to live a good life, be financially well off, realize my dreams, that's good. That's enough for me, right? That is enough for me. Like, I should be at a place where they would want me to be there, and I want to be there, of course, right? It's not should be a place, I'm running down to be here. In the sense of these international students that are facing deportation, I'm hoping that they do have a plan B in place, right? Plan B, plan C, plan D. Otherwise, their life will be placed on a pause. So many of you, not many of you, but I'll see you like 1 or 2 person reach out to me on my Instagram saying if I've seen the recent news with, people getting sent back home and all that. Yes, I've seen the news, right? I've seen what's going on. I'm like to myself, what else? Like, I'm just like to myself, it is expected. Like, we're on a temporary student visa, right? Like, I don't need to remind myself that I'm not a resident here right now. Yeah, I don't need to remind myself, like, that was the contract that I signed, that, I came here in April of 2023. My expiration date is January 2025, but I'll be granted my postgraduate work permit for at least 2 to 3 years, and that is a right. As long as you don't breach your study permit rules and all that, then you have the right to a postgraduate work permit. After that, that's it. After you finish your postgraduate work permit, that's it. So it depends on you how you want to navigate your future from there. Like, okay, you want to work, save some money, go on ahead, send back yourself, finish up, more studies, whatever the case might be. And yeah, you get me? But like, seeing that the news, it's not a surprise. It's definitely not a surprise. You understand? Because again, you come here on a temporary work permit, study permit, you're expected to go back because it's just temporary. You have an expiration date and you have a date when you start, an expiration date. So it's like it's temporary, you know, until you get the residency. And again, you might not get a residency, and as time go by, the residency in Canada is getting a lot more competitive because now they're putting persons who can speak French, you know, putting persons who are in like healthcare fields. I know these persons are coming first. So if you have nothing along that line, then it's like you're at the back of the class, and then you just get what is left, you know, whatever amount they can, you know, issue for invitation after they take out those who are French speakers and healthcare workers first. And get what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you have to set up yourself in a way where, you know, you don't rely on just the residency. Like, would your life end because of the residency? Like as for me, going back home to Jamaica, with a CPA, there's unlimited opportunities. You understand? With a chartered professional accountant license, unlimited opportunities that I'll be granted. Like, opportunities to the point where I don't even know what to do. Like, pick, choose, and refuse. You understand? And I think even so, becoming a CPA in Canada, I wouldn't need to go back home at all. That's the first thing. Like, if I become a CPA here, the highest field in accounting, I would need to go back home because I'm going to be an asset to like any organization, industrial, any organization in the accounting field, private enterprises, public enterprises, everything. You get me? And that's my aim, to become a CPA. Like that's the day when I stop school completely. As soon as I get my CPA, that's the day I stop schools completely. And right now, I should have my CPA license in the next 7 years. 2 years to do my postgrad work permit, 2 more years to finish my bachelor's, that's what, 4. And then with the next 3 years, I'm done with CPA school. So like after that, I'm how much? I'm 20. So by the time I'm about 27, well, maybe not 27, 26. So by the time I'm 26, I should have my CPA license. And after them, you know, I live a nice life. You see what I'm saying? So again, the news is very harsh, but adjust policy. You get me? I say adjust policy. I come here to study. Can't expect if you get a residency, you're going to end up staying in the country. Unless you go stay in the country undocumented. And if you stay in Canada undocumented, and it becomes a case where you know, they catch up on you, you'll probably get banned from the country for a very, very long time. Probably indefinitely. Like, you're probably going to get banned forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, might as well just do the right thing and go back home and, you know, rethink it. Like, you can't even go back home and reapply. Like, you go back home, try a different way to come here. Like, even if you're like in the permanent residency pool and then go back home, you can wait for them to, like, you know, make a decision on your permanent resident application. And get what I'm saying? Because a lot of persons, they already applied for permanent resident, but their work permit is going to end and they haven't received a, you know, update on their permanent resident application. So you know that if your work permit done and you don't receive an update on your residency, you have to go back home, wait for them to finish the update, and then based on what the update is, if they say, okay, you can become a resident or not, right? If you can come back. If you cannot, then you just, you know, find some other route. You understand? So yeah, it's a sad story, but again, everybody choose a journey. Me believe in living my life on one plan, never. So, you know, like, there's numerous things aside from a residency. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Remember to like the video, subscribe, and share if you're new to my channel. All right, see you guys. I'm out.